What is going on, people? I never really know how to start these things when no one's joined yet. It's kind of always super awkward. I'm just kind of sitting in here by myself, by my lonesome. More than happy to talk to nobody, though. I talk to myself most of the time as it is. No different. It's all good. We got an excellent connection. We're all good with the chat. I had a donut from Taco Bell and surprised it has some filling inside of it. Nice, dude. I just had Taco Bell not too long ago. What's up? What's up, Nicholas? Appreciate y'all being here. What's up, Taka? Since I found your channel, I watch all the videos. Dude, thank you so much, Gilberto. I appreciate that. What's up, Twisted Titanium? What's up, Nicholas, bro? Hey, Shay. I appreciate y'all being here, man. This is great. This is good times. Absolutely good times. Really excited for today. There's quite a few crazy ass videos that I wanted to watch. Crazy videos. But exciting ones nonetheless. 5 hours of shoveling snow. What's up, Derek? That's fucking nasty. That's why I moved to Florida. Even though we still get snow here, apparently. It's been like 32 degrees for the past week. Great. Absolutely not great, by the way. Hope your channel blows up. Me too, man. I'm working on it, bro. I will consistently be working on it. Consistently. For a very long time. For the foreseeable future. There's a couple good videos that I want to watch with you guys about bodybuilding and steroids, believe it, of all things. We're not going to talk about fucking eco-political bullshit at least yet. It's probably going to come up because it always comes up. We always seem to touch on these topics. I don't know how it ends up happening, but every time I get on live, we end up talking about politics and so many crazy things. Hope you get big. Yeah, me too. Physically and YouTube virality. What's up? Appreciate you guys being here. Okay. So, man, there's so much cool stuff we're going to talk about. What about that? Which thing? The man does like 18 different things every day, bro. Let's just like look up what he did, because I bet it's like a shit ton of stuff. Let's just see. Trump. I'll just type in Trump. What's happening? News about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Trump slams Ukraine Zelensky's. News about Doge and Donald Trump. President Trump hosts a reception honoring Black History Month. He's done all this in like 3 hours. What the fuck? Oh my god. Briefing amidst Trump's dictator constant. What the fuck? His admin is moving. Wow. Musk gives a remark to... Wow. I don't really... Man, I honestly, like... He does so much at this point. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Just get done. Get to work, brother. Joined by Tiger Woods. Of all people you bring to the White House for Black History Month, dude. Oh, no. Dude, he brought Tiger Woods to the White House for Black History Month. That's intense. I want to see the comments. Wow. No one hates the guy, man, except the really crazy people, I'll be honest. Yeah, I've never seen it before, man. I've never seen it before. Not even in the military. Not even, you can't even trust a general or a adjutant general or even a fucking lieutenant to move shit like this fast. It's crazy. I don't know how he organizes it. the fact that people get mad at him is a whole nother thing. The fact that what I'm impressed of is how he can simply address the world every single day, multiple times a day, signing hundreds of executive orders on a daily basis. And he can just keep going. When does the man sleep? I just have zero idea. It just does not make sense. I don't know how he produces. So he must have an elite team behind him. But man, I'll be so honest, I don't know how he does it. Tiger Woods is the most Asian black guy I've seen. Yeah, he's hardly. That's nuts, actually. He's got another black guy there. Where's Tiger Woods? I bet Tiger Woods doesn't even speak.
So you could be here today. And we prayed for that. We pray for you. We continue to pray for you. And
That's wild. I don't even see Tiger Woods. All right, anyways. I told you we can't get into political shit, you guys. Fuck me. So I want to just react live to this video. I was playing in the background. I didn't really listen to any of it, I'll be honest. Super, super duper interesting. Okay. This guy made a YouTube channel, cropped it up a few months ago, started trend at 18, and so should you. He says, more plates, more day is a cuck, and you shouldn't listen to him. That's what he has to say. Very intrigued to see what he is going to say about Trend, because here's his general consensus in the comments. When bro turns 25, he's going to realize how stupid he was. At this rate, your grandma is going to outlive you. Sorry, bro, you're alone on this one. Alcohol, minoxidil, Trend, and Accutane. You're going to really love life, bro. More plates, more dates, new video incoming. Bro, you're going to look 30 by 20, by 45, and 44 by 25. Oh, man. Yeah, we have to watch this one. Yeah, the trend brain at 18 is crazy. Imagine going schizo. All right, ready? Let me know if the volume's good, because he's pretty quiet. I'm going to turn it up, actually. Let me know if it's good.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to do a little bit of a video about my experience on trenbolone and enanthate. So Tren is like a very, intense steroid, and there's a lot of common misconceptions about trenbolone, so I kind of want to clear the air and, make a little bit of a documentary about my experience on the compound, whether it's worth it in terms of looks maxing, or whether this is something that you should avoid at all costs. And I would say that Tren is quite positive, and most of the quotes that you read on the internet and like Reddit r/steroids are just completely wrong, right? So it's like Tren has a reputation for being extremely unhair safe, extremely bad for your organs, and some of the stuff is just either blown out of proportion or just comically wrong, right? So
I love that he's coming across as an authority at 18 years old with a very marginal, at best, amount of experience in any matter of pharmacology or experience using that pharmacology. And he's trying to make this video as some kind of stereotypical professional or some pseudo Derek More Plates, More Dates, which is hilarious because he calls Derek More Plates, More Dates out in the description of the video. That's wild. First of all, people have horror stories about Tren because they're true. Tren is one of the worst compounds you can take for the architecture of your brain. There's we can even look up just Tren and the architecture of your brain. Don't knock my spelling. I'm typing a million miles a second. Really great study here where they took a massive community of people who've used Tren and asked them questions. And then they also cited real research with that. And guess what? Time and time again, you hear people saying, Tren made my brain mush. This is a study that is posted in 2023. And this guy's saying, yeah, I don't know what people are talking about. Brother, I think PhDs probably know a little bit more than you. I just gotta say, I think PhDs know a little bit more than you. It's crazy to me that this guy is actually 18 years old trying to justify Tren. That is insane. Stay natural and get all the gains you can. Then after 25, go low test and slowly go from there. Stay natty till I was 46. Wish I jumped on after years of crash tea. That's the path. You don't need to jump on like right now. I think everyone wants this fucking, dude, everyone wants the shortcut. And so trend seems like this really good choice because it's extreme and it's a shortcut. When you're young, you don't care about what's extreme, you just care about shortcuts. So they're just taking the shortcut because everyone's talking about trend. And then you have people like this idiot coming out saying it's not harmful at all. Brother, what are you talking about? Like, just type in any kind of data that you want and you will find very clearly. Look, they list people's cycles out, their age. It's awesome. It's a great data set. They talk all about this. And it's so clear to me that this is just a flawed reality. It's like the trend psychopathia or whatever you want to call it is just going up. Yeah, trend talk. This dude sounds like he's skeptical of everything else. Yeah, he's outside of what he says himself. Trend is strong, lowers patience, increases aggression, low sleep to no sleep, care less in trend. Young minds can handle to can't handle, I think. Yeah, cannot handle is what you're meaning to say. Yeah, it's very brutal, man. If you aren't intellectually, I think that's a really good point. If you're not emotionally intelligent, like when you're young, you are not going to be able to handle trend because it will make you an absolute asshat 24/7. It turns you into the worst kind of person. You can turn that off to a small degree when you're older because you've realized that life is a bit different. You've kind of garnered a maturity about you. Things are different. But when you're young and you have no clue about emotional intelligence, it's crazy. Like you will turn into an absolute retard maniac, literally. Mike from Trend, yeah, it's a great example. We did a whole video on him. Trend to me is a great subject matter here. It's absolutely bonkers that this guy is trying to promote trenbolone use and in the first 30 seconds of the video. There's a great study. I posted it on my Instagram a long time ago about the, oh man, where was it? Yes, here it is. This is a great study. This isn't even a study reviewing trend injections. This isn't like an exogenous use case. This is a actual human study where they take people who have been exposed to trend in the environment from cattle and measure different varieties of cognitive features. And sure as shit, guess what happens? 17 beta trenbolone crosses the blood-brain barrier and placental barrier, mind you. 17 beta trenbolone induces apoptosis of the primary hippocampal neurons. It fries your fucking brain, you guys. This isn't stuff you want to just be injecting in droves. It's absolutely mind-boggling that people can just promote this shit like this. It is just, and I get it, man. It has a time and a place, but that time and that place is very, very limited. Very limited. So limited, in fact, I'd say that most people could probably go their entire lives without touching trend and be better off for it. It's just too crazy to think that like an 18-year-old is just jamming trend in his body for looks maxing, quote unquote.
So the only way that trend could be a problem with your hair is it's freeing up other androgens from your androgen.
Wrong. Just wrong. I don't like I don't even need to make a whole statement about this. This is just categorically wrong.
Receptors, because it's much more androgenic than testosterone.
So if you're injecting testosterone and you're injecting trenbolone, testosterone is still going to convert into DHT and still going to bind to the androgen receptor. Trenbolone might have a higher affinity, or its metabolites may have a higher affinity, but they're just as androgenic. And in the event that we're actually trying to, I don't know, measure oxidative stress, which is a proxy of hair functionality, like if you want telogen effluvium to happen at a natural pace, you want to limit oxidative stress. Guess what trenbolone's known for doing? Increasing oxidative stress, increasing high sensitivity C-reactive protein. Did you do blood work on that? Probably not. It's just a ludicrous statement.
testosterone. So, right, so when you're replacing testosterone on the androgen receptor, you're freeing it up to convert into DHT and, you know, utterly destroy your hair. But if you're on something like dutasteride that blocks that conversion, you aren't going to run into any problems from, you know, trenbolone freeing up testosterone. So I don't think that's
Also wrong. The parent hormone of trenbolone is far less androgenic than its metabolites. So, or sorry, it's do I have that? Yes, correct. So basically what I'm saying is if you're taking tren or even nandrolone and you are inhibiting the 5-alpha reduced version of trenbolone, you end up with a more androgenic hormone that will cause a likely hair follicle miniaturization. Back up what tests you should you take prior to trenbolone replacement therapy. I would say you just need to be taking tests regularly anyways. You need to be getting a high sensitivity C-reactive protein, which is a general proxy to inflammation and oxidative stress within the body. You need to be getting a homocysteine to see what that's doing to your methylation demands and also oxidative stress. You need to be getting a GGT to see how your hepatic system is managing a high burden of essentially just toxicity is not the right word, but just taxation. I'd say those are good starts.
That's going to be a huge issue in terms of hair safeness. I think tren is a very hair safe compound.
I love how he again, if we just look at the facts here, 18 years old saying, I think tren is a very hair safe compound. Ask anybody who's been running tren for longer than a couple months. Ask a professional bodybuilder what they think about that.
And there's really no mechanism of action that anyone has ever been able to point to explain why tren is not hair safe, right? So let's just get that out of the way first and foremost, because obviously hair is life. There's no denying that, and any amount of gains.
Yeah, Josh, I would get cystatin C as well. That's just a general, like, I would just get that in most situations. Tren especially, but in most environments, because we're lifting weights, we're eating a high protein diet, you want to get a cystatin C because you're not going to get a good proxy from creatinine. You're not going to get a good proxy from an estimated glomerular filtration rate. So getting your cystatin C is going to be the most important way to go. I have a full head of hair. I will test this tren and see. Okay. Report back to us, Joshua. Let us know what you think.
Is not.
I would take this guy's word for it if he did the testing, right? But there is no testing. There's just I did this and I don't think it has a negative effect. Did you count the hair follicles in your sink? Did you trap them with a hair trap and make sure that they weren't falling out in a greater mass than they were when you started? You know, it's just like, I don't think there's a good proxy to be objective here.
Is not worth losing your hair over, right? So that's why things like Primobolan and, you know, Masteron, you should stay away from at all costs, because they will destroy that nice head of hair.
Okay, so clearly I use a shit ton of Masteron. I think people have anecdotes of losing hair on Masteron. I say that the probability of you losing hair on Masteron is a lot less than Primobolan. But Masteron and Primobolan aren't, theoretically, they're not DHT compounds. Like, they're not actually derived from DHT. So you could argue that, yes, they're DHT derived, so they're going to cause more hair loss. But actually, because they're just a offshoot of DHT, they're not going to be doing what DHT does in the body. And I think people often conflate that thing. This is a synthetic version of DHT. It is not DHT. And so if you can actually say that it's more androgenic than testosterone and pure DHT, I would actually be surprised. My guess is that testosterone and just letting it convert into DHT is probably way worse for your hairline than running a copious amount of Masteron.
Of hair that you...
Is this a trans male? Bro, no, it's a look maxer, dude. He's look maxing. Dude, that's crazy. Is this a trans male? Oh my God. Yeah, I took a whole bunch of Masteron in this prep, but I didn't lose a hair. Yeah, I think that's kind of most people's. That's my. I don't. If I take Primo, shit's gone. Like it's whacked back. You know, I'm very, very, very conscious about my hairline. But if it's Masteron, I've run astronomical doses. Like especially when I was like competing actively, like crazy doses. Never lost an insane amount of hair at any point in time. Primo shredded my head, but likely due to Crush E2, which is also a big probability, actually, which is a very good point. It could also be due to a reduced E2.
You should do anything in your power to maintain, right? So right now I'm on 200 milligrams per week of trenbolone and enthate.
Does Tren 5-alpha reduce to a less androgenic metabolite? No, it reduces to a more androgenic metabolite. And it's even more, potentially, at least from the metabolic studies that I've read with the cattle and the toxicity entering a human brain, possibly more neurodegenerative than trenbolone itself.
I like the longer ester because you're not going to get the tren cough, right? Trenbolone acetate gave me a really bad tren cough. I couldn't really sleep on it. I was sweating a lot in my sleep, and it was just a horrible experience. So I would recommend staying away from acetate at all costs. It's going to hit you way too hard, short half-life. It's just not ideal at all. So you want to be on an enthate, which has about a 5-day half-life, right? So
does an enthate have a 5-day half-life, guys? Is this kid even old enough to buy cigarettes? No, he's actually not. I don't think so. How old do you have to be to buy cigarettes? 20? 21? Masteron turned me into a sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex? Yeah. That's pretty accurate, actually. An enthate. Let's look this up, just so I'm not talking shit and you guys don't believe me. An enthate... I believe it's testosterone and enthate has a 4.5 day half-life. Perfect. What does testosterone cypionate have? I don't believe we have like actual research on that. Eight days apparently. That's by a .gov website. Didn't Kurt say that there's no research to support testosterone cypionate's half-life? Very interesting. It would also change depending on the carrier oils as well.
So right now I'm currently pinning 200 milligrams, so I'll split it into 2 doses per week on like Tuesday and Saturday, for example, and I'll pin it sub-Q into my hips. That way you don't really feel the oil. It's not really a nuisance in any way. And you could save your ventral glutes for other injections like your testosterone because, right, you don't want to have to be pinning your delts and your traps, and that way it's just a lot of avoidable pain, right? Because pinning your delts is just the ultimate cuck. It'll ruin your your upper body workouts, and that's just not something that you should desire whatsoever. Right, so let's talk about a couple of the other benefits from trenbolone. So trenbolone has a lot of unique properties in terms of bone growth, right? So tren is one of the most superior compounds when it comes to growing your bones. So it upregulates your IGF-1 receptors quite significantly, which is a huge part of, growing new bones.
Howdy.
And getting that facial masculinization and, kind of the Dom look.
So he's using this to get bone growth. That's his objective. He wants to get bone growth from trenbolone.
Tyler Mayer and some of these guys that have really strong bones. So it's going to prevent cortisol, tren, which hence will decrease osteoclast, which kind of melt your bones, So by reducing the cortisol levels, your free cortisol, you're going to avoid this and also...
That is also categorically not correct. It is just so not correct. You don't just directly decrease cortisol. And I love, people measure a proxy of cortisol because they know, trenbolone's a glucocorticoid. agonist and or antagonist and it, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, you realize like cortisol is not the only objective here, right? There's tons of metabolites of cortisol that actually have more of an interaction than cortisol itself. And I think I believe there's actually there is tetrahydrocortisol, there's allotetrahydrocortisol, and there's cortisone. And all of these play a massive role in how we respond to stress. Cortisol is not the main stress hormone. It just is the primary starting point. I was about to say he has no idea what he's talking about. Most of that does not make sense. Yeah. He's at a certain point, you just kind of realize like trenbolone is not, I don't understand where people are gathering that trenbolone is just going to nuke cortisol. It's just going to completely reduce it. That's not the idea of what's happening. Man, you can tell people search this because it's like the first thing that comes up when you type it in. Trenbolone acetate is capable of inhibiting glucocorticoids such as cortisol. I probably guarantee you he pulled this shit from Wikipedia. Where's the study? And a weak glucocorticoid effect. A very weak glucocorticoid effect. How funny. I don't even see anything. They cite Bill Llewellyn's book, bro. That's not even real science. If it would nuke cortisol, you would just be... Yeah, exactly. In my honest opinion, yeah. I agree with you, Twisted Titanium. Is this the next Russo? It's about to be, man. It's going to be the next Russo crash out.
Reduce your stress, which I think is a very underrated part of Tren that not a lot of people talk about, because people only talk about its muscle growth properties and not really the lifestyle changes, which I think are extremely important.
What happened to normal kids that sold drugs for real, dude? I want my fucking 18-year-old selling weed, not Tren, dude. What the hell?
Tren's nutrient partitioning is just unsurpassed by any other compound, right? That's why for cutting and even bulking, you're either going to get more out of your cut by not going catabolic, or you're going to get more out of your bulk by...
Thoughts on methylene blue? Seems a bit odd to me that people are taking a MOA-I inhibitor, a monoamine oxidase inhibitor, when they're generally regarded as quite dangerous. Who said they're fucking quite dangerous? And SSRI is like monoamines. Do you understand what a monoamine is? Like that's you're talking about basically all of brain chemistry. The drugs that we use as human beings alter brain chemistry, all of them. So they're all altering by nature monoamines.
Better nutrient partitioning. So I think either way, Tren is going to be unmatched by anything. But I would prefer to use it on the cut because it's not something that you could sustain forever. It isn't good for your creatinine levels in your kidney, you know, all this different stuff. So I wouldn't permablast Tren or anything like that, but I'm just...
The thing he's worried about is his kidneys. He didn't talk about his brain, his heart, his hepatic function, his circulatory system. Crazy.
Going to use it to maintain as much muscle as I can while I'm going on my cut, right? And another reason why it's super good on the cut is its MCR antagonism, which means like it's going to antagonize your aldosterone receptors, and you know you're not going to produce as much aldosterone, which is like the test bloat look where your face looks super bloated from steroids. Tren kind of does the opposite of that. So Tren will make your face leaner, whereas test makes your face more bloated, right? Conn syndrome. Test leads to MCR agonism, more aldosterone, just moon face. So you got to reserve high test for going on bulks where you don't really care if your face is chiseled or not because you're already going to be high body fat. And Tren is also really good to pair with things like tarzipatide or semaglutide, these GLP-1 drugs that are going to help with your lean maxing. And when you're cutting, you take the dual incretin, and you're not going to lose as much muscle if you're on Tren.
So he's saying don't take as much testosterone because it gives the moon face. I don't know about you, but I have ran testosterone very high at all phases of fat loss phases, and it never made a difference ever in my facial features personally. Second, I think if you're getting water retention from testosterone, you're probably doing things incorrectly as a whole cycle. What's your favorite cycle? Okay, so personally, I have two, and they're very hard to differentiate because I like them both so much, but for different reasons. After a very heavy cut, so when I'm super duper lean, I like to do 300 milligrams of test, 300 milligrams of NPP, and 300 milligrams of Mastron, and then scale each by 50 milligrams or so as needed to get to where I'm trying to go. That is like, it makes you feel full as fuck, but you don't get the water retention from massive amounts of NPP. You just have a very minimal amount, and then the Mastron's helping modulate the estrogen, and it's just a very clean, results-driven cycle that rebounds you out of a fat loss phase. And then I think the second thing that I like is just test and EQ. Just very simple. I love high-dose test, high-dose EQ with tons of growth hormone. And I think those are the best combos that you can probably have. Both cycles obviously would be massive, massive growth hormone, or massive doses of growth hormone. So
Tren, as you otherwise would, if you're taking, Ozempic without any endogenous hormones, right? So, and its GCR antagonism means that any large fasting window you have, you'll be eating into fat rather than muscle. So it'll just make this cutting phase much, much better. It also increases insulin sensitivity, which allows for more consumption of fast carbs without risk of detrimental health, detrimental effects on health, rather. So just like overall, this is something that I would absolutely recommend.
So he's claiming that supposedly because trenbolone has a greater affinity to act on the glucocorticoid receptor, that it's going to A, keep muscle in a fat loss phase, B, increase fat loss, so you're basically primarily burning fat, and C, make you look like a fucking Chad. I don't see that happening to anybody that uses Tren. Bro skipped lifting and eating and just jumped straight to gear. Facts. How about you just don't go to the... Yeah. How about you just don't do drugs and go to the gym? I think that's the reality check most people need, to be honest. To be for fucking real. I think that's the reality check most of these people need. He's not doing insulin. I'm just talking about insulin. Does Tren start the carnosine beta alanine cycle like high dose test? I'm unsure.
Recommend that you heavily research, because there's way too many lies on the internet, on Reddit, about Tren. People attribute all the side effects from other roids to Tren when they're going on 5-gram blasts. So you won't really know what's causing your adverse side effects.
He knows, right? He knows people are going on 5-gram blasts. He knows that people who are mixing Tren with lots of other things are just not going to feel like, he knows what these people are running for sure. Probably talks to them daily, right? Probably coaches them.
So I plan on being on Tren for the next probably about 4 weeks. I'm going to cycle off to TRT, probably 150 milligrams of TRT. Just have my blood work come back into range, because my liver is a little bit cooked from, heavy drinking, Accutane, some of this kind of stuff. So once I get that fixed...
Dude, he's already fried, bro. He's clocked, man. He's clocked. You can't be fucking drinking booze, banging back Accutane, and then blasting Tren at the same time and expect to be a healthy individual. What the hell is this man doing? I'm stamping it right here. This is going to be a new social experiment, is this human being that we're watching. Imagine thinking that you're right when you blast Tren, Accutane, and booze at the same time.
Fixed up, I'll be green. But right now, bulking on tren, you know, I just started my cut about 2 days ago, but before this, I was bulking. I was able to go from about 202 pounds to close to 215 in the better part of a month, which is incredible gains. And as you can see, I haven't gained that significant amount of body fat. And when I cut, I'm probably not going to lose that much size because of the trenbolone. So this is kind of a win-win compound, and I've used tren in bulking phases, and I'm going to be using it in cutting phases, so I'll know 100% that it is great. Now, in terms of side effects from trenbolone, right, this is important. I'm not going to lie to you. You're probably going to get side effects from tren, including higher levels of prolactin, right? So your nipples are going to lactate a little bit if you run high doses of tren.
What?
But if you take
No,
to block
no, they're not. If your nipples are lactating, you're doing something wrong with the entire cycle in and of itself. And if you're taking pramipexole to a dopamine, oh my Jesus Christ, dude, this kid is going to cook his brain. He's clocked, man. We're clocking him right now. This video is going to be on the internet forever. I hope he's happy about that. Imagine, oh my God, dude, thinking by default that tren makes your nipples lactate by default. You just take it and it makes your nipples lactate. That's crazy. I've never once, ever had anyone take trenbolone and have lactating nipples, nor had them have any issues with prolactin taking trenbolone. Never. You don't take cabergoline, which is, you're jamming the hell out of your neural as a whole, like I would say like neural health, or your neurological system, when you're just banging back dopamine agonists and fucking taking tren. This kid is very intelligent. Yeah, super intelligent.
Block the prolactin, you know, you're going to be fine. Pramipexole has got basically no side effects. It's not bad for you at all.
He said basically no. Brother, oh my God. Let's just check this out, right? Oops, Pexel. All right. Let's just look at the Mayo Clinic's description of it. Let's see. The presence of other medical problems can affect the use of this medicine. Make sure you tell your doctor. Okay. Proper use, dosing, misdose, storage, precautions. It's very important you follow. People who take pramipexole report falling asleep without warning during driving. Oh my God. Oh, that's crazy, dude. Check with your doctor before using this medicine with alcohol. Oh, definitely not doing that. Or other medicines that affect your CNS. Yeah. This medicine will add to the effects of alcohol and CNS depressants. Figures. Dizziness, lightheaded, and fainting may occur. No biggie there. Hallucinations, seeing, hearing, and feeling things that are not there may occur in some patients. Yes, yes. This medicine may cause postural changes that you can't control. Tell your doctor if you have your neck bending forward. Oh my God. Bending forward at the waist, or tilting sideways when you sit or stand or walk. Oh, fuck, man. Check with your doctor if you have dark-colored urine, fever, muscle cramps, spasms, muscle pain, stiffness, or unusual tiredness or weakness. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, I think Prammy's a good thing to have if you are going to be milking from the titties, but you should immediately not be taking it long term. It should be like a very acute treatment. Very, very acute treatment. Yeah, P5P, 100 milligrams 3 times a day. Beautiful, beautiful solution to this problem. That doesn't alter dopamine. That doesn't cause horrific issues long term. You know those people who are like opioid addicts? Like this is basically what they have a deficiency in dopamine. It's why they act like that, right? It's why they like fucking on the road and shit. You don't want to be that by taking a compound that does that to you. Like, it's just crazy. How much Tren to squirt milk at people? Quite a bit. You'd have to take quite a bit, to be honest. Are we gonna come full circle and listen to Cali Muscle? Yeah, I think we need to at this point. I mean, this kid needs Cali Muscle, bro. At this point, he just needs to feed into the Cali Muscle hype, to be honest. Like that lizard that squirts blood in your eye. Just shooting that shit. Psh, 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 psh. A weapon, bro. I got lasers on my fucking tits, dog. I got laser titties.
The only problem is it's dosed in micrograms rather than milligrams, so dosing it could be quite tricky if you're buying like raw powder from China of
oh, of course he's doing that. Of course he's doing that. So he's dealing with micrograms as a raw powder from China, dosing himself a dopamine agonist. This is great. Good stuff.
So, but it is much better than Caber, because Caber causes fibrosis of the heart. So I would say that it's best to avoid cabergoline at all costs and stick with
does that. Okay, whatever.
Grammy,
it's not even
to avoid the high prolactin. And you are going to be, hornier than you could ever imagine on pramipexole. This stuff will literally make you want to slay out, some chicks that you otherwise wouldn't. Let's just say that. Let's keep it at that for now. So,
totally based for sure. God, yeah.
Prami is a very cool compound. Being a low lactin mogger is something that makes you feel like you're going through puberty for the first time again. So experiencing that while being on Tren, and you're going to be feeling like a whole new man. I can assure you that. Right. And there's one other thing that you need to keep in mind with Tren. So any neurotoxicity that's ever been, attributed to Tren is just because it messes with your circadian rhythm. But if you take...
We just reviewed a study where that was not the case. Rewind to the back of this. The literally the first thing we pulled up was a study where it's directly crossing the blood-brain barrier and affecting the hippocampal side. Like, Jesus, man.
If you take a compound called SR90...
He's worried about fibrosis, but just said his liver's fried from drinking, right?
09, this is going to fix your circadian rhythm. So by the time it's time for bed, if you take it in the morning, you're going to go out like
dude, this couldn't get any worse, bro. So we're going to go from one experimental drug to another experimental drug where there's no human clinical data. And we're going to assume that it helps this and does this. And I'm going to take it for this because it said this word on the study that I read one time. And that's what this means. It's like, dude, this is like the TikTok brain of... This is literally TikTok brain Derek, more plates, more days.
Like a light and have better sleep than you would off Tren, So like this stuff is a miracle compound.
This kid is 18 years old. He's possibly a trans male. We're not sure yet.
It'll keep your lipids in range, keep your sleep in range. So that way you're really not getting any of the bad neurotoxic side effects of Tren. Any neurotoxicity from Tren is pretty much cope though anyway. Tren is only neurotoxic without the presence of estradiol. But if you have any estradiol,
that's not
which
true.
You would, unless you're, taking Tren as monotherapy without testosterone, you're not going to have any neurotoxicity.
By the way, that's what Trenemy does. Trenbolone monotherapy. He thinks that's why people get so unhealthy on Tren is because they have other drugs like testosterone in their system. So he takes Trenbolone monotherapy.
From Trenbolone. So, right, this is like another one of those copes that we were talking about before. So, in terms of like, your glycogen...
This is a trans male who couldn't get his hands on HRT and took matters into his own hands. That's so true, dude.
Storage is bigger than ever, fuller than ever, and look extremely diced on Tren. So it's an addicting compound, right? The mental ascension, you're going to be lower inhib from taking Tren just because of a pure need for, basically having sex with girls, right? So you're going to be so horny off of Trenbolone that you're going to want to approach because you're like, I need it, man, So I think that's one of the...
He laughs like he's never fucked a pussy in his life. Please beep that out. I can't do that. I'm immediately demonetized this video after saying that. Was on a Discord 3 years ago. Young kid got on Tren, age 17. We warned him. Lifted 6 months, little gains, crazy talk, little like this kid. Yeah. Us adults try to tell them, he wouldn't listen. That's usually how it is. They think they know more. And I thought I knew more when I was a kid too, right? I thought I was the top dog. And it ruined me many times, dude. Like, I always approach people with like something to learn. I want to learn from most people. If they just act ignorant and they're dumb and they're just straight up rude, I don't care to learn from them. But if they're a real person, they want to teach me something, they have something to teach, I'm like, cool, let's learn. Because I realized far too many times that I get more things wrong than I'll ever get right, as does everyone. And so you can learn a little bit from everybody. But in this case, it's just like, yeah, he's too young to even know he needs to listen to people. His dick stopped working, freaked out, got off of all of it, then jumped on again. Yeah, there you go. That's how it always goes, man. To be fair, you probably knew a lot more than a lot of... Yeah, I mean, I did that to myself as a proxy of need, though. That was kind of my own desire. I'm a freak, dude. Like, I'm genuinely autistic with like how I like to... I don't text people. I don't go on social media like crazy. I just read. I read a lot, and sometimes I read... You know, I've been really into fantasy books. Like, I've been reading the Dune series. But sometimes I'll just pick up studies and read them for fun. When I was living in my other house, I had like a stack of data. Like, I would print it off because it was easy to read on paper. It was probably this, like, of individual pages, like this high, you know? I just like reading sometimes, but that's just me.
One of those mental ascensions that you get from the compound. So I would recommend hopping on Trenbolone as soon as possible and cycling it for 4 weeks at a time, 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. And this is the key to the ascension. You're not going to get bad skin from Tren. As long as you pin it sub-Q.
I like how he's saying this as an authority figure, but he's in N=1. He's the only individual this has ever happened to.
Pin it frequently.
The spitting average of people who use Tren would not agree with him.
You're really not going to have any issues with that. It won't cause hair loss. If you're good about your prolactin, then you're going to be fine on Tren, and all you're going to do is have a great ascension. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's another video from Clavicular. Let me know what you guys want to see next.
An update. This kid's antics are already, I'm over it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is my second attempt at making the YouTube video because my dumbass forgot to include the audio input. So
now he's trying the Greg Doucette route. Oh, he has a school. Look at that. Guys, you can join my school down below in the description. God. This is the marketing. This is the marketing. Guys, if you want to join a real school group, we have the Ascension, the Ascendancy Collective. You can truly ascend. We do lots of great things. We got guests in here all the time. We got the Tren twins coming on in the group, literally. They're going to be here probably in a month or two. We're setting up a time with them. We're legit doing that. That's not just me bullshitting. We do live calls twice weekly. Got tons of courses. Really great option. This shit, not so much. But that's crazy, huh? That's crazy. What's up? Hey guys, Dave and Jacko, thank you for fucking wishing me happy birthday. I really appreciate that. Really great thing you did for me. I appreciate that. If someone took me to the side at this age and showed me the ropes, I listened because that's how that's how I did too. But I think now people kind of realize that just being a degenerate's more acceptable and oftentimes more lucrative than being responsible, unfortunately. And it works too. It's just like, I talk about this all the time in videos and it works. You just be a degenerate and it gets better and better. You just work. More people follow you. It's the craziest thing. He can't even clean his room. I know. Check out that fucking laundry pile, bro. Absolutely atrocious. Thank you. All right. So on to one degenerate to another degenerate. We have the genetic anomaly here. I wanted to see what this video is about because the headline got me, I won't lie. I almost died from steroids, question mark. Bulk day 39, legs. So we're going to see what happened here because I have a feeling that homeboy fucked some shit up. Probably. Maybe. Let's see.
Thought I was fucking dying at one point.
You look fucking massive, bro, in the comment now.
This guy is really impressive, but I do worry for his health, just as I do anybody's health. I honestly, one of the worst things about being a bodybuilder and having, or I guess I don't really compete anymore, but having bodybuilder friends is my fear for their health. I often just worry about people.
Welcome back to the channel. This is the anomalies, day 39 of the pack. Cooking my breakfast, 200 grams of egg whites and bacon egg. I'm starting to hate everything about chickens at this point. I hate the eggs, I hate the chicken breast, but I still have to eat it.
I don't get why people force themselves to eat chicken breast. You have 96% ground lean beef that works phenomenally. About the same macros, works great every time. You have all the white fish in the world, shrimp, scallops, mussels, you name it, great stuff. You got 99% lean ground turkey, which is just as good. And guess what? On top of all of that, you can just have a fat steak, like a top round, bottom round. It's about the same macronutrients as long as you're making sure you're not eating the fat or you're cutting the fat slices off. Like the whole, I gotta eat chicken is just perplexing to me, bro. There's so many better things to eat, and especially in a mechanical sense of chewing and getting all those calories down. You don't have to go crazy with the fucking chicken, man. Fish is probably way easier to eat and much more healthier. Game meat, yeah, game meat is also really good. I love when people can actually sustainably eat game meat. Like venison is awesome. I think venison, kangaroo, elk is, oh my god, elk is one of my favorite fucking meats in the world. It's just ridiculously expensive. These are all really lean meats that are exceptionally nutrient dense and way easier to eat than just some disgusting dried chicken breast.
Eat it, so I'm gonna eat it. When I get big, if you feel like it's too disgusting to eat, you should man up, find a fucking sauce or water, chug it down. You just need to get it done. How it tastes does not matter, you know, it does not matter how you feel. And no one's gonna say you didn't get big because it was too disgusting to eat. No one's gonna give a f***. If you're gonna stay skinny, you're gonna stay skinny. If you wanna become a larger person, you need to eat more.
Okay, so the problem with this statement is generally I would agree because most people undereat versus overeat. But this man is promoting to eat a lot. And I think that's great for a lot of different people. But a lot of other people are just going to get really fat and discouraged from this sentiment because this individual is truly a genetic anomaly. He's not normal. He's taking copious amounts of androgens, but he's also very, very gifted. Just by nature of that, he's going to be way better than I am. Even if I bulked to the infinity and beyond, I would never get as big as him. Ever. There's no point in it for most people. Yeah, the gut. He's got the fucking the gut showing up, to be honest. Yeah, he's from Malta. Talk about crazy cycles. ChatGPT suggested a hardcore cycle for me. Okay, let's see. I always wonder what ChatGPT would say about steroid cycles because it always tries to be way too conservative. Oh my god. All right, I'll read you guys the ChatGPT cycle. Week 1 through 16, base injectable steroids. So this is just the base injectable steroids. Testosterone and enthate, 1,500 milligrams a week. Nandrolone decanate, 800 milligrams a week. Joint lubrication was cited as why. Boldenone undecanate, 1,200 milligrams per week. Trenbolone and enthate, 600 milligrams per week. Wow, dude. That'll turn somebody into a pro, for sure. You can give that just about to anybody and they'll get jacked. For I don't know for how long, maybe a couple weeks. HGH 15 to 20 IUs a day. Split AM, PM. I can't believe fucking ChatGPT pumped this out. It even recommended insulin, Humalog, or Humulin R. High carb days, 10 to 12 units pre-workout, 10 post-workout. Medium carb days, okay, 6 to 8 units post-workout. Low carb days, none. We were going to keep insulin sensitivity high. Week 1 to 8, oh, there's more. Kickstart with short esters and orals. This is a front load of fast-acting compounds for rapid size increases. Testosterone propionate, 150 milligrams every other day. Nandrolone phenylpropionate, 150 milligrams every other day. Dianabol, 50 milligrams a day. Supertrol, 10 milligrams pre-workout. Oh my God. 9 to 16 weeks, we're going to switch to hardening agents. Anadrol 50 milligrams daily, Winstrol 50 milligrams daily, and Halotestin 10 milligrams daily. And it keeps going. IGF-1 50 micrograms from week 1 to 16 post-workout. PEG MGF, that's crazy, 300 micrograms post-workout. BPC TB 500 micrograms each day. It even knows SLU. Sloopy every day. Oh my God. Aromacin every day. Cabergoline every day. Telmisartan 20 milligrams every day. Baby aspirin every day. Dude, this is a death cycle. Is that Chase GPT? Yeah, dude, that's Chase GPT. That's the someone uploaded Chase's videos, and that's what this gave. I love that, man. That's so great. We need the Chase GPT model out ASAP. That is insane, man. I can't believe ChatGPT spit that out. That will kill somebody if they can even afford it. Fucking hell, that's like a couple $1,000s a month right there.
I love these.
What is it though? Like a energy drink?
100 milligrams of caffeine. Most of the time, I'm not gonna indulge in many soft drinks now. I'm trying to lay off because my gut feels a bit better when I don't drink as much soda. I noticed recently. Got the f***ing apples, man. We need to go to the gym. I'm looking for a monkey, man. Where's the monkey? What is that?
Like a monkey, like.
Damn.
Steve, try this out.
What? So this literally brand new, it just came out or something?
These are all flavors.
I never
random
saw this
flavors.
These people, they all sound the same, and I love it. They all sound like the same person talking.
Never saw this one either, man. I'm gonna take 2 scoops. So I'm gonna take half and half to try them both.
I do the same, Mara. That tastes good. Why is it fucking spicy, bro?
I'm gonna try out Bomb Pop.
Dude, is this actually how they sound?
I've never tried this. It's like lemony. I'm not sure how to explain it.
Really?
I like it. This is Mango Nada. First time trying it. Oh.
Which vera, it is a bit spicy.
You
It
just
has oh chef fuck off, bro, it was. Not spicy,
No.
it's like that tingly feeling when you...
your mom feels.
Now, what somebody's got to do in chat is compare ChatGPT's cycle to what DeepSeek, the Chinese AI, will give you as a cycle, and see which one's truly better. I think that's where we're going to break ground.
No, I'm serious. It's not spicy. The other one.
Yeah, he's the garlic and stuff there. Yeah, garlic is a very high FODMAP food. So if he's talking about indigestion from eating, drinking like soda, it would also recommend probably taking that out. What's your current stack look like? I can cross-check with what's trending among Olympia competitors. That's insane. Grok can do that? Maybe I need to get onto that. That's crazy.
The other one's spicy. I forgot my carb powder.
They sound like Borat,
Also gonna
yeah.
get a good leg workout. I'll get 2 Powerades. First exercise, adductors, full stack, slow and controlled.
It's generally good form. Pretty good form. Let's see his leg extension. Okay, really important here, you guys. The see how he's externally rotating his femur? Like his knees are sort of pointing outward. I don't really know how to describe this. I guess I can do this. Like you see how when he's like this shit's gonna hurt his knees in the future, no doubt. Like I guarantee it. See how his femur is rotated outwards, like it's got this external rotation to it? Because his knees are basically tilted out this way. I hope you guys can see that. That's going to cause so much fucking torque to just twist this joint up right here like crazy, right? You're just going to get massive pressure within your knee. The best thing that you could do in this situation, in my opinion, at least, would be to internally rotate the humerus, or the femur, so that your knees are straight on and they're not having this outwardly bent effect, because the weight is driving down. And if your knee is dispositioned, it's out to the side, but the weight is driving straight down, your knee is pulling in. It's like a torque, right? Not so great, especially long term for training health, I would say, if we want to call it that. It's good stuff.
Like an explosive rep way up. On the way down I'm going slow, and then I used to do like an explosive rep way up. So I have to slow it down both ways. When I'm going down and when I'm going up, it needs to be slow. Next we're gonna do a leg curl.
That's true. Good point.
But I throw him against the wall.
Do you need a slow eccentric and a fast concentric in my mind? Good form here. Really good depth here. Where did we die on the road?
Legs. Pump's kind of gone now because I sat for like 10 minutes. So that's today's workout. Legs are obliterated. I have this post-workout shake. And I have the apples as well. I can barely see. It was a good workout. And I did my cardio. It satisfies me every time I do my cardio because you're never in the mood for it. Like I thought I was f***ing dying at one point. Then you step on the treadmill, you know, like don't see out. Do the first 10 minutes. And then what happens is I play this game in my head. So I don't want to do 10 minutes, but I need to do 30. So I do 10 minutes and then I'm like, I did 10, I can do 15. And then again,
I do that
I did
same
15,
thing.
I can do 20, I can do 25, 30. I keep going up.
I ran 2 miles this morning. This is the same kind of method I did this morning. I was like, man, I'm just gonna, it was cold as shit. I'm just like, man, I'll just be out here for 3 minutes. I'll just jog for 3 minutes. I was like, all right, 2 more minutes. I was like, 2 more minutes. And just kept running away from my house. And by the time I ran far enough away, I was a mile away. I was like, all right, cool, let's head back.
Every time a minute passes, I'll be like in my head, even though I want to stop, I can do another minute. And I just keep repeating that in my fucking head, even though I feel like shit and I feel like hell and I'm tired as fuck and I want to go home. But that's how you go through cardio. But this is one of the rare times I did cardio after leg day. Usually I don't do cardio after leg day. But I don't want to do an hour tomorrow. So now what I have left is 30 minutes of cardio tomorrow, another 30 minutes on Sunday. So that's 120 minutes in the week, and I'm sorted, because I did cardio earlier this week. So yeah, just making it a bit easier on myself. The more you spread out your cardio and
This is French Sim Sulik, yeah. He's, what is it, guys? I'm sorry. Malaysian's not right, is it? Where is he from? Moldova.
the easier it's gonna feel. You don't need to do 1 hour at one go. Of course it's gonna fucking suck
He
doing
didn't
an
say
hour.
anything about
So
drugs killing him. That was boring. What a terrible video. Malta, yeah. Where the fuck is Malta? Malta. It's a European country. I have no idea where the what. So it's basically a part of Africa is essentially what's going on here. He's from this tiny island? That's crazy. I would never have guessed that. I've been to some pretty, like, desolate places, but I would have never guessed that he was from there. I've been to Bosnia, Sarajevo, Banja Luka. I've been to Croatia. I loved Croatia. I've been to Serbia and Belgrade. I have a lot of employees in Belgrade. Shout out. Yeah. But I've never been to Malta. Very interesting. Maybe I'll have to go sometime. Maybe I'll have to go. So, also, guys, I don't know if you know, but today's my birthday. And I actually hate that, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm getting so old. And I don't know what how I feel about it. I've never really been one to be happy on my birthday. I usually actually feel quite garbage. Because it's weird just like celebrating dying or celebrating not being where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely not where I want to be in life. And so I feel upset when I get a birthday because another year has passed without me achieving my goal or my dreams, if that makes sense. Happy birthday. Thanks, bro. Yeah. Thanks for hating my birthday. I appreciate you. Makes me feel a little bit better. Just a little bit better. I have to hold on. I want to find
every great
this.
hero and new
Dating life.
right.
I can't remember what this guy's name is.
How's it going, man?
I didn't realize this guy had a whole channel, man. This guy just roasts people on lives. That's what he does.
How's it going, man?
Does he actually post any true YouTube content? What's his Fit and Fearless? Oh boy. At 27 years old, I think this is the video.
In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 things that I quit to go from broke to millionaire at 27 years old. Let's jump right into the video. The first thing that I
Y'all know he's like 5'5".
quit
I'm not even joking. Like that's truly his height.
was living in a place that was not forcing me to be better. I lived in Colombia for a few years. I love that country. Beautiful country with great culture. But at a certain point in my experience there, I started feeling pushed. I started feeling the hunger. Yes, I was making good money, but my environment wasn't forcing me to be better.
Yeah, I
So I
realized
decided-
I'm not sharing my screen. This is the guy we're working with.
I decided to make the shift. I decided to make the move.
He's gonna tell us how he went from broke to a millionaire. First thing is he switched from Colombia to Miami.
To go from Colombia to Miami in 2024. And that was the first year I made my first $1 million. Coincidentally, right? Forcing yourself in a new environment, forcing yourself around wealth is going to transcend your income, right? When I moved to
Okay, so I actually agree at this point. When I was in Thailand, you live like a millionaire making way less money. So you don't really try as hard. now that I live in Florida and I'm seeing motherfuckers drive around Ferraris and stuff, I do feel a little bit more drive to push myself. But also, this is a part of like toxic marketing and capitalism. So it's like, what am I really happy with?
Moved to Miami, seen all the people with money, seen all the Lambos and all these things. Yes, you might think that's superficial, but guys, if you put yourself around wealth, if you put yourself around possibilities appear. It was when I moved to Miami, I started doing more in-person coaching of my students. I started giving more value. I started thinking outside of the box. But when I was in Colombia, even though I loved the country, I didn't.
Oh, my fucking headphones just disconnected. I don't understand what he teaches his students. I also think it's just like he's one of those people who's just a millionaire because he's teaching people. It's not like he can teach you to be a millionaire because he only knows how to become a millionaire via teaching people to become a millionaire, which he became a millionaire by teaching people, which is just like this weird paradox.
I didn't feel like the people, the environment or the people around me were forcing me to do more. I was one of the most successful people in the area. I felt good about myself. I felt like I made it. But in Miami, I'm just a small fish in a big pond. I'm a small fish in the ocean. There are plenty of people who are entrepreneurs.
He is very small. He's like 5'5", so.
Who are grinding, who want to be better. And I didn't feel that same push living in Colombia. All right, so the first thing you must do if you want to make more money, you want to go from broke to millionaire, you have to change your location, change your environment, force yourself to be around the wealth so people that are doing better than you can bring you up. When you see what's possible, you can start to think of what is possible. The second thing that I quit to go from broke to millionaire was feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, a lot of times in my life in the past, even though I've been a very confident guy for the most part, I've always felt like when things get tough, it was like, oh, don't worry. You're an immigrant, Fed. You're an immigrant. You shouldn't have gotten this far, right? But when I removed that thinking, when I removed that mindset, I started to do even better. When I stopped giving myself an excuse, when I stopped giving myself a pat to feel bad about myself, to feel good about my failures, I forced myself to have responsibility. I started to make more money. When I stopped giving myself excuses to go above and beyond and why, it's not my fault, I started to make more money. So if you force yourself to have more responsibility and you force yourself to make it all
So he's not saying anything new here. He's just literally saying that, hey, I am copying Alex Hormozi. This is all things Alex Hormozi said. Like, yes, it's generally a good principle to not get down on yourself when something bad happens, and instead of blaming other outside forces for the things that happen to you, you need to take responsibility for it. That tale's as old as time. It's nothing that's new.
All on you. If you force yourself to make it your responsibility on why you're not successful, I guarantee you're going to be more successful. It's nobody else's fault but you, bro. And when you give yourself that responsibility, you give yourself that power. The third thing I quit was thinking that the world was against me. When I first moved to America when I was 9 years old, I was bullied, right? I was the African kid with the accent. I was always made fun of. And I went to public schools because, my mom couldn't afford to take me to a private school, right? We're immigrants. She remarried, but the man she remarried didn't have any money. So I went to public schools and I was always made fun of. And that started to create a self-victimized mindset where I thought, maybe something.
So the same point as the second point.
Mindset. No matter what you're going through, there are people who have gone through worse. No matter what you're going through, there are people who have.
Yeah, I've always said this like for years. It's also a tale as old as time. If you think you have it hard, there's always somebody who's done it better with worse. That's the tale. That's the tale that we've always said as old as time. Can we call ice on him? I would say that there's probably a large chance of that. There's probably a large chance of that. We are our keepers of our success and improvement. Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
Who have experienced worse. So when I thought to myself, maybe the world is against me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Then I remember all the people who have been through worse. I'm like, what the fuck am I complaining about? What the fuck am I bitching about? What the fuck am I acting like the life is so hard for? People are going through way worse than me. People are experiencing way worse than me. People have gone through more challenges than me. Me going through a little bit of adversity because some fucking idiots in my school.
Those veneers are crazy though. Like it looks like his teeth are all just one piece.
Making fun of me doesn't mean that I need to live the rest of my life feeling like I was not worthy. So I put myself around other immigrants. I ended up going to schools, a private school, getting a scholarship where I saw other people who were from other countries dominating, getting good grades, being successful. I'm like, wait a minute, they can, so can I. And that shifted my mindset that no matter where I come from, no matter what I believe is holding me back, it's all in the mind. I can fix all of that because there are people who are doing better with you with less than you. The fourth thing that I quit to go from broke to millionaire was spending money to look rich. I'm gonna admit, guys, I fell for it. I fell for the trap as well. When I first started making money around 2020, 2021, I was like, oh man, I'm making a decent living now. Let me go buy some Louis. Let me go buy a nice bag. Let me go buy all this shit. And honestly, guys, when I look back on it now, it was a mistake. I was spending money to look rich instead of actually being rich. It wasn't until I had a tax bill where I realized I had to spend a lot of money on taxes that I was not saving for me to wake my ass up. And I was like, what?
That's the truest shit ever, though. Yeah, I was the same way, bro. I made a shit ton of money one year when I first started business and sold a house and like got just a ton of cash, dude. And I was like balling out. It was crazy. And then the tax bill came at the end of the year and I was like, oh, okay, I see how this works. People are in debt paying for their taxes, which I just think is the most radical thing in the world. I got lifted by the neck by my principal in school. Man, miss those times, bro.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be reinvesting back into the business and advancing your knowledge, trying to get better and not trying to look cool, because all the things that I want, because I like nice shit. I came from nothing, so I like nice things. But I can get all those nice things and more if I sacrifice instant gratification. If I stop trying to look rich and actually go be rich. If I go invest my money back into my business, back into my education, buy assets that produce passive cash flow, then I can go buy nice things, but not with my earning.
This is so true. Most people can't. Oh, man, it's tragic. I'm going to bounce off this guy's video because there's such a good point that I actually want to touch on here. Most people's car payments are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you guys. I've been realizing how crazy since we had the discussion about the Cybertruck. I had a really big kind of deep dive into the prices that people are paying for their cars. And check this shit out. This is crazy. Like, these people are the average
So we all know
American.
my customers are mostly income challenged and don't make the best financial decisions.
Just got him approved, guys. 0 down. He got payment for 1,000 months, okay? They know that
1,000 months. A payment for 1,000 months. Bros. 1,000 months. What? 1,000? That's gotta be a joke, bro. That's gotta be a joke.
50% of the people that buy vehicles from them is going to default on the payments.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at another predatory issue that goes hand in hand with the increased repossession rates, all of the high car payments and insane insurance rates we've seen recently. We're going to be taking a look at the buy here, pay here car lots, what they are and how they could really hurt people financially, because from what we've seen in the car market since the beginning of COVID, I bet the prices on some of these lots look very enticing compared to the dealerships, even though the cars are most likely in pretty rough shape. We're going to be going over some of the scams they pull, how they get some of their customers, because honestly, some of the videos that they put online are just ridiculous. And we're going to be looking at some of the comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave it in the comments down below. But we're just going to get right into it with what buy here, pay here is.
Okay, what is a buy here, pay here dealership? Okay, so a buy here, pay here dealership is basically a dealership that doesn't go off credit. They go off job time, they may go off your down payment, they may not need any proof of income. It all depends on what dealership you go to. So if you guys are not in the car business, usually at a bank lot or a franchise dealership, they'll get a check whenever they sell a car. At a buy here, pay here, they don't get a check. They have to wait for the customer to pay off the remaining balance.
So what this ends up meaning is that a lot of the people who go here don't have the best credit. They won't get loans from any of the normal manufacturer dealers.
A terrible idea. A terrible idea for anyone to partake in.
Dealerships. Maybe they already have a repossession and they don't have a ton of cash. So unfortunately, what this means is that there are a lot of buy here, pay here lots that take advantage of this. Very, very high interest rates, way higher than any of the stuff that we're seeing right now. It's notorious that the cars on the lot are not in the best shape. Maybe they're salvage titles, they're lemon cars. You've probably heard of countless scams just out in the wild, but some of these people don't really have a place to turn because if you live in the US, transportation is obviously a necessity. Even using the bus most of the time isn't really optimal unless you're in certain cities. The country is just so large. If you have any sort of job or
this is keep this in mind, you guys. This is all a problem because people want to look rich. Like, people are spending over $100,000 on an SUV to look rich, just to drive their kids to soccer practice and back. And then they're stuck with like a $1,500, sometimes $2,000 payment for 8 years. Bro. Imagine if you just bought a fucking Chevy Blazer that's used, an old one that works, and invested all of that money into a down payment for a house. You'd be able to afford a $500,000 house. A nice house. Grew up around a few guys, live large, live off credit, can't get it. Yeah. Well, the thing is like they might live fast. Live fast, die young. That's like the statement, right? They might live fast when they're young, but when they hit their 30s and 40s, dude, they're going to be drowning in debt. Drowning. And that's what's so funny about a lot of the gurus we talk about, like the broccoli hair gurus, is that is quite literally them. They leverage loan debt to get more assets to make them look rich, to buy authority on the internet, and hopefully things go well.
Or even have to go.
Yeah, best payment plan, one payment. If you can't, I think it was Jay-Z who said this once when I was a kid, and it's always stuck with me. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And I think that is so true. So true. Could I have bought a Model S? Could I have bought a Tesla? I could have bought all these things. I don't make bad money. But I bought the cheapest fucking performance Tesla I could find because I don't want a fucking ridiculous payment like that. It's just crazy. No, the thing is, if you file bankruptcy, dude, they still capitalize off your ass. So what the business does, the bank does that you took the loan from, is they'll sell that car at auction. So they'll repo it and they'll sell it at auction. And then what they'll do is they will charge you for the difference. And that charge will be held over you until you get your money back. So let's say they sell the car for $20K and you paid $30K for it. So they still are lost. They're down $10K. You'll still owe that $10K. It's crazy.
Have to go to the grocery store. Chances are you can't just walk over from where you live and buy your groceries and come back. So honestly, everybody needs a car, but there are tons of people online that know to stay away from these lots. There are tons of skits.
What's up, everybody? I'm with my boy Edgar right here. Just got him approved.
Okay,
guys.
good. This is
zero
a meme.
down. He got
I was
payment
so
for
worried.
1,000 months. Okay, interest is 35%. Are you happy, Edgar?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Drive off. Let's see you drive on this beautiful Camaro.
I don't care if that car blew up on the highway. We are not taking that car back, son.
Hey,
excuse
me, sir.
How can I help you?
Yeah, man, I've been to like 14 different dealerships, man. Nobody get me right, man. They told me to come to the buy here, pay here, man.
What make you think we can help you here?
Well, I mean, I got 18,000.
Right this way. Right this way.
We could actually go on and on. There are a lot of pretty funny skits about this, but one of the comments happened to me. Car was $12,000 and he had $8,000 and only needed to finance $4 grand. Offer was 20% for 3 years. I left on the spot. We have a comment from one of you guys from the payday loan video that I made a couple weeks ago that goes hand in hand with this topic. This and the buy here, pay here car lots are two of the worst places ever to mess with money. And unfortunately, from what we saw with the payday loans, they are scattered all across the country. There was a stat that there was more payday loan buildings than McDonald's in the US. I still can't get over it.
Dude, payday loans is just such a scam. That is like the most crazy, preposterous concept to me. And I know it works, dude. I know they print money, dude. It's so sad.
That and many of these areas are low income parts of the US, and because of that you could have payday loan companies right next to the buy here pay here, taking advantage of people who don't have a ton of money, and the interest rates are unbelievable.
There's a whole lot of buy here, pay here shops up and down North Tryon, and they are all predatory. Every buy here, pay here dealership that you go to, they know that 50% of the people that buy vehicles from them is going to default on the payments. Because of that, 100% of the cars that come from these buy here, pay here's have trackers on them. And 7 out of 10 are going to have kill switches, guaranteed. And they do this because they know the rates are already predatory. You're paying $4,000 or $5,000 more than the car is worth on the sticker, and then the interest rates are 18.
What does 20% mean for the loan? I thought there was no interest if you pay enough monthly. No, there's always going to be interest occurred unless you pay it off in full. You're going to pay a monthly amount that is equivalent to the percentage of interest that you owe. So for instance, on this house, the first few months of payments are like 1% of that payment goes to the principal, like how much I actually owe. The rest is to the interest. So it is quite staggering. Like 20% is staggering. So you're paying that in every monthly payment. It doesn't matter if you pay that monthly payment in full. If you pay the car off in full, you do avoid that interest, but not if you're paying the monthly payments.
18 to 25%. So this is how they get rid of it. Hedge they bet by putting the tracker and the kill switch on those vehicles, because they know you're only going to make half the payments. By that time,
yeah, I'd love this. High school to college debt, car debt, home debt, and more. Slave to work, yeah. Dude, that's all it is, man. It's just, and here's the funny thing about it, and I'm a victim into it in some sense, right? But I think you can leverage loans, like obviously to make money. For example, you can loan out a bunch of cars and then rent them out, and you're making money on a monthly basis as long as business is good. You could buy a bunch of houses like I did with a VA loan and then rent them out, and you're making money and it's good. And you're basically leveraging that loan to make money. But most people aren't doing that. They're just getting loans to get the things that they want. And it just fucking, dude, you got people pulling out negative equity on 3 different cars. Like they've moved 3 different cars that each had negative equity, and now they owe like some preposterous, like more than a household on a fucking car, and they can't afford the monthly payments.
Already paid up, they can come and get the vehicle and do the same thing to another person. So a dealership being able to turn off your car 2 or 3 days after missing that first payment gives them all the leverage. If you are interested in taking back that leverage, just give me a call.
Okay, so the first half of it adds on to the negative equity. Most of these vehicles are going to be a little bit older with some miles on it, could have a lot of issues. Like I said before, maybe they're lemon cars, maybe they're salvage title. With those very high interest rates, you are almost guaranteed to be underwater in these cars. And it ends up being more profitable for these companies to roll these vehicles repo after repo if these people can't pay the loan. And that's how they end up getting their money, because they all have trackers and kill switches. I mean, maybe in the future we even talked about, I believe Ford had a patent for new cars to have some sort of dead man switch to self-drive it back to the dealership if there is a repossession.
Yeah, Ford is installing in their electric vehicles, if you fail to pay for their money, they will just have the car drive itself back to the dealership. That's crazy.
It sounds absolutely insane. But the second half of it, I tried to look this up. It seems like this person is advertising taking out these trackers. I'm not going to advise you to do it all, because some places said that it was okay to do it, others said that it was illegal, so it doesn't really seem like the smartest idea. But if this guy's making a business from taking out the trackers because of how many of these cars end up going back from these lots, you got to know that
you paid off your house in 10 years, man. That's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. I don't think there's many people in the world who could even do that.
this whole situation is an absolute mess. Another comment from one of you guys: they don't have to abide by regular banking institution lending rules, which is why the interest rates are so high. They'll repo the car and turn it and burn it, just like I said. Some of these cars will have 2 to 3 contracts on them, and it's all high risk 599 or lower credit scores who already have 1 or more repos, because they can't really turn anywhere else, and there are basically no alternatives if you live in a large area like the US. Now, I won't say that it's just 100% people down on their luck. There are many different advertisements that I've seen basically do the exact same what the manufacturers do, play into you're a truck guy, you need a nice big F-150, or maybe you like muscle cars, sports cars, luxury cars, make it look like you have more money than you actually do.
You're looking for a buy here, pay here in Georgia, and you heard a lot of them were closing. Not Pars Cars. With down payments as low as $499, and we work with everyone and have in-house financing, you guys cannot beat it. With our newest selection of cars, you could drive off with something for your family, like this, or like this. You could drive off with a truck for your business, or just a truck if you're a truck man, like this, or like this. Or you know what, you're the muscle type of guy. You like to show off the muscle. Well, let me show you what we have in that department. Like this, or like this. Whatever your selection of cars is, we have it for you. No matter your rental history, we can help you. Par says yes for a reason. You guys come on down.
And this is basically the reason why I make these videos. If you don't have any knowledge about interest rate, car prices, I mean finances in general, throughout all the topics that I make, you could walk into one of these places thinking that you're gonna get a nice F-150, look good, and get absolutely destroyed by the payments. Because I guarantee you that F-150 he showed is probably cheaper than going to a Ford dealership and paying, what, $70,000 for it now? But in the end, if you even could pay it off and it doesn't get repossessed and then moved on to the next customer, the interest rate is so much worse that it's probably around the same price as just going and getting a new one from Ford. Yeah. And you could kind of say that about any of the vehicles that he showed. But with how unbelievable some of these ads are, it really ends up working. I don't get it.
Have you been manipulated by a narcissist piece of garbage dirtbag mother or bitch? Don't worry about it. F them. Look at this beautiful 2015 Cadillac Escalade. Beautiful red. Look at this beautiful interior. This thing is absolutely like gorgeous. Has a lot of miles like your ex did, but don't worry about it. This thing is only $1,899, so I can get you around a $350, $400 payment.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Buying a fucking... That is terrible. What are we talking about? Jesus, man. The channel name is Zach Rios, is his channel. Highly recommend you subscribe. It's really good. Eye-opener when it comes to finances.
And you get to drive a really nice Escalade. So if you're in the market for a vehicle, reach out. Let me get you hooked up. We'll see you here.
So he immediately starts saying absolutely wild stuff. By the way, half of the video, I'm sunblind. You couldn't have taken a better angle and realized that, hey, I couldn't even see the Escalade in half the video. But whatever, he openly admits that the miles are high. If he's saying that, it's probably ridiculously high. Yeah. And only $18,000 for an Escalade. I mean, what are they, like 80, 90,000? I think the Escalade V is ridiculous, like 150, I think. Now I actually want to look it up because I think they're a lot. Escalade V starts at $160,000. Okay. Yeah. But you could look cool and rich to your ex, I guess, with this absolutely clapped out Escalade. But you look at the comment section. This got my attention real quick. Got my attention, stayed for the whole commercial. I mean, I guess that works. It's, oh man. Here we have another one with an absolutely classic manufacturer. If you've watched any of my car videos, bad credit, no credit.
Don't ever buy a fucking car
Challenge
like this, you
credit.
guys.
Here's a 2019 Maserati Ghibli. You'd look so rich. Oh man, you're driving around in a Maserati.
Do not ever buy a Maserati. They depreciate the fastest out of any fucking vehicle in the world.
Way better than any of the BMW, Audi, Mercedes that you see on the road, even though this is clearly the worst depreciating and reliable vehicle of any luxury brand right now. But again, just playing on today's society where everybody wants to look like they have a ton of money when most of us just don't. Here's one of them that I just did not understand. It didn't even go with the commercial, and it wasn't a joke. I don't get this. Okay, so when I went to upload this video, just the audio from this clip on screen shut the entire video down. I really didn't know it was going to be that serious because it was just an off-putting motivational sound clip over what you're seeing right now, just a guy panning over a car lot with just random vehicles. Crazy. And there was a guy saying something along the lines of somebody's going to take a chance with you and be the best decision that they ever made in their life and you're worth it, yada, yada, yada. It was very odd, no advertising for the car car lot or the dealership or anything, but I guess it was still enough to get this entire video taken down, so I had to do this little voiceover. What did that have to do with the ad? What, you gave me a little motivational pep talk and now I'm gonna go buy your Kia Forte? And then again, we look at the comments and I guess it worked. Where are you located? Where are you located?
Nuts.
Location. I really just don't understand it.
Yo,
man.
I'm not saying...
And I guess it worked.
I'm not saying anything. But can we just take a look at the profile pictures? What do y'all think about that? I don't know.
Worked. Where are you located? Where are you located?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Location. I really just don't understand it, man. But we could take a look at one of the scams at these car lots.
So here's another scam that dealerships near me use to take advantage of people. So we all know my customers are mostly income challenged and don't make the best financial decisions. Still don't make them bad people. But one of the scams that the dealership next to me that's been selling cars for 20 years uses is the old pickup note. Basically what he does is he puts them at a cheap down payment, let's say $1,000. Shows them a car for like a 2015, 2017, whatever, you know, something that looks pretty for them. Tells them they can get into it for $1,000. They'll have two pickup notes, one for the sales tax and one for the rest of the down payment. The problem is sales tax on a $20,000 car in the state of Florida here is $1,400. And if he can't repo them over them missing that pickup note, he's going to repo them on the other $500 down payment that he needed. In addition, he charges payments during that time period. So you swindle somebody into thinking they can make the payment because they only have to get into it for $1,000. So in the first month getting their car, they're going to have to drop $3,000 to $4,000. And they have GPSs, so any missed payment, they take that car. They'll flip that car 15 to 20 times till tax season.
That's nuts.
And I bet this is a very common tactic. Basically just hidden fees that turn into thousands of dollars.
America's best breast. Literally best and brightest in those photos for sure. That was the comment section thriving, doing so well.
Especially for somebody who doesn't have a ton of money. If they only have $1,000 down, you're honestly guaranteed to get that car back and you made $1,000 or maybe a payment or two. And then you could just do that to the next person and the next person and the next. So these absolute garbage cars, you know, like 10-year-old Hyundais or Kias where the depreciation is so bad that these cars are virtually worthless, you could squeeze a lot of money out of people doing these types of scams. Here we can look at some of the comments. It costs a lot of money to be poor in America. My ex got a $3,000 car for $12,000, paid $600 a month, and eventually let it go because he still owed $8,000 on it. I used to be an auto tech. My favorite thing to do was pull trackers out of customers' vehicles and them not knowing how it got there. Again, I did want to look it up. If you're in any of these situations, some places said you're allowed to do it. Some said that it was illegal. I'm not going to advise it then. Seems like kind of a dangerous game to me, but I just love when these companies make their employees do a very awkward commercial and put it on TikTok or social media in general. It's just pretty uncomfortable.
I work at CarFX. Of course you can get a car with bad credit. I work at CarFX. Of course you can get a car with a repo.
Oh, I work at CarFX. Of course I can get you done with 3 months on the job.
I work at CarFX. Of course you don't need a co-signer. Sign here.
That's so sketchy. Oh no. Oh no. These people are selling souls, man. They're selling souls. They know what they're doing is filthy. Just reeks, man. Look at her eyes. She knows what she's doing. Oh man. That's just horrid.
He work at CarFX. Of course he got him in the car. He said he's gonna get me in. Yeah.
I work at CarFX. Of course, we're the biggest buy here, pay here in the Chicagoland area and the surrounding suburbs.
So of course this car lot is around Chicago.
This just makes me yak, dude. It's just sick. Ugh. Gross.
A pretty rough area and checks all the boxes. If you got a repo, you got bad credit, you could still drive away. And I think that was like a Nissan Armada, or maybe it was like the QX80. And something else that I've seen common with these sort of ads is that they'll get one of their customers to almost testify in the middle of the video.
I work at CarFX, so I can pay off my used car. Take mine. Yeah.
But they're not a scam, even though most of the time they are probably raking this guy over the coals. Here's one of them. Came in for a Toyota Camry and left in a new 540i. Now I know that this is still the fault of the person going into it. You should have the knowledge of the interest rates and the payments and the upsell that these salesmen are going to push on you, because then they'll make even more money. But this guy was going in for a Camry, probably one of the most reliable cars that you could get right now. I mean, depreciation will be as minimal as it possibly can, and then you end up leaving with a 540i. I bet the payments are way worse. I mean, the comment section too. $899 a month for 84 months, 24.9%. Bro did not want that repo man, followed him home. Oil change went from $50 to $60 to $150. That's why I show you guys so many ridiculous clips when it comes to the car market, because it doesn't just start and end with the car payment. The insurance is going to go up. All the maintenance is going to go up. Even the gas, that's going to be premium gas, or if you get a diesel truck, going to be more expensive than in a Camry. And I get it, I'm into cars. I love to have a sports car as something to have a lot of fun with, but especially from what we're seeing now, most of these people won't be able to afford it. They're just getting persuaded into buying these vehicles, whether it is the salesman or themselves.
These are some of the questions you guys have to ask if you're considering buying a vehicle from a buy here, pay here dealership. Does the vehicle come with a warranty? Some of the best buy here, pay here dealerships, they'll actually have their own warranty company. They will give you a warranty on your vehicle, usually for 6 months or 7,500 miles. So make sure to ask that question and ask them what's covered under the warranty. Do they report to the credit bureaus? It is important that you rebuild your credit, so make sure you work with a buy here, pay here dealership that report to the major credit bureaus. That way they will report your payments and help you rebuild your credit.
You know when they're not reporting to the credit bureau, it's a sketchy business, brother. That's just a terrible, terrible idea to do business with somebody that doesn't report to the credit bureau. Even I do that. I don't understand how that's even legal. I guess it's because it's like I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Are the vehicles inspected and serviced? Some of the best buy here, pay here dealerships, they'll make sure they sell you the vehicle in the best condition possible, because they have to make sure the vehicle lasts for the term of the loan. They also want to make sure they finance a good vehicle, and that way you make sure you're buying a good vehicle.
Okay, so this guy does ask a couple of questions that could help you if you do go to one of these lots.
Yeah, most of these people need low maintenance, reliable cars at a good, fair price. They're literally getting the opposite. Exactly. They need a motherfucking Honda Civic, bro. They need a Toyota Corolla, a Camry. They aren't fancy, but they fucking work, and they work for a long time.
Lots, but he kept saying over and over again that the best buy here, pay here lots would do this, and I think that means that a majority of them don't, because that's why there's such a negative perception when it comes to these dealerships. So many people get scammed. The APR is ridiculous. The cars are not in good shape at all, and it's just easier to constantly repo the car and resell to somebody else and get a little bit more money that way. Now I have a couple clips here that I've put in the high car payment videos, because I think this is adjacent content. I don't think this is straight up buy here, pay here, but what everybody's probably seen, I think his name was Joe the Car Plug. It was like $399 a month for a 5 or 6 year old like BMW for 300 or 400 months. It was ridiculous. So that kind of stuff wasn't really believable, but it was getting views and attention. And then we start seeing other people do similar videos where first time buyer approved for 0 down 2021 Ram 1500, and they always do like the little testimony video. Here, come into our dealership, you get whatever you want. He's got a completely murdered out Ram, but I mean, you know, this payment is going to be unbelievable. The comment sections, they're always really good. $4,500 a month for 200 months. And then they were kind of making fun of the guy because he was really, really tall and skinny. How does somebody perhaps achieve this build? When I mess up my height sliders, but the last comment, just leave the keys in the ignition for the repo, man. Another video here.
That's getting repoed for sure.
Approved. $3,000 down for an AMG, and I believe that's a GLA 35.
That's a terrible.
Is probably one of the worst AMGs you could get. I'm not a fan of the GLAs or the CLAs that I've said in previous videos. Ridiculous amounts of money to basically just drive around with the Mercedes badge. But again, another testimony in here. You could come in and we'll get you an AMG with only $3,000 down. And again, the comments, 300,000% interest. 3,000 down payment is good only if the car costs 27,000. Now I did look this up. A GLA 35 only has 300 horsepower and you're paying $60,000 for a new one. That ends up being more with nicer options, so even with the depreciation, $3,000 down is probably not enough. Repo Man right behind him driving home. So I mean, in general, you really do have to be careful with going to dealerships. Of course, the buy here, pay here, but even looking this sort of topic up, I started finding very odd videos with normal manufacturer dealerships as well.
What would you tell a first-time buyer?
Congratulations, you got approved.
What's one thing you would tell a first-time buyer?
Where's your co-signer? Where's your money down? Where your parents?
They immediately, where can you get approved for a loan?
Why are you here? You have insurance already?
What would you tell a first-time buyer?
Bring me some food if you're gonna come buy a car.
What's something you would tell a first-time buyer?
Yes.
What would you tell a first-time buyer?
Come get the car of your dreams at Bakersfield Hyundai. Just make sure you bring your grandma with you.
What's something you would tell a first-time buyer?
Can your mom and dad sign?
The top comment is what everybody thought when we watched this video. Yeah, this makes me not get a car there, not gonna lie. This was a Hyundai dealership making this video. Like, I don't get it. I know it's cheaper than making a legitimate advertisement for TV.
No one's going to be buying, like, here's the thing, it's 2025, man. No one's buying. Right now, the economy is the worst it's ever been in my entire life. I can't believe how bad things are. I cannot believe how bad things are. Imagine going to this dealership, trying to buy a Camry in full. No one's buying a Camry in full price. They're all using loans. No one is paying full. They're using loans. Can you afford this car? That was me at the dealership. That's the right question to ask. Most people can't, genuinely.
But sometimes these videos just don't hit and probably hurts you even more. But we're gonna finish off with a pretty crazy scam a dealership was running on its customers.
A car salesman was just arrested in Texas.
I wasted a lot of money on sports car over the years. I wasn't able to afford them, but it was a waste of money. I did too, man. Like, I'm in the same boat, bro. I spent a lot of money on different cars, bro. I car bounce like a filthy whore. I jump around cars like crazy. I've never gone negative. Well, I have, but I've just had the cash to pay it off. But I used to just fuck around like that. And now it's just like, I'm just buying used. I don't care how nice the new shit looks, because in 3 months time, the new shit's not going to be as new anymore. It's not going to be as good. It's going to start squeaking, cracking, doing something. It's not going to be, I have a car that accelerates 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's cool once or twice. It's faster than like a Koenigsegg. Great. But after about a little bit, 5, 10, 15 accelerations, you're like, okay, now it's not that cool anymore. It's just like, okay, accelerates really fast. Fun. Shit doesn't last, man. It's not worth that premium to get a new car because it doesn't last. Bikes, cars, guns, and women, yeah. All the same.
Texas for assaulting a news reporter who was investigating the shady dealership. This dealership was originally being investigated for scamming customers out of a $1,500 deposit just for test driving cars. After some digging, it turns out that this sales manager and the whole dealership was a lot shadier than they thought. A news crew was sent into Strawberry Auto Sales in Pasadena, Texas. They were trying to question the manager about an issue where customers were being forced to pay a $1,500 deposit just to test drive a car. And even when the customer decided against buying the car from this dealership, they were denied a refund. The manager, David Estrada, became very aggressive and agitated when he was asked about this issue. News Channel has video of him physically pushing and grabbing the camera equipment when they were in the dealership. This was enough for the police to arrest Estrada on charges of assault. But from here, it gets a lot worse for the sales manager and the whole dealership. See, it turns out that Estrada was already facing charges for embezzlement from his last job. At his last dealership, he was accused of skimming over $140,000 off of customer down payments.
Jesus.
It turned out that there's a reason that this sketchy dealership still hired Estrada despite the allegations. He's not the only rotten fruit over at Strawberry Road Auto Sales. The dealership has a whopping 1.9 rating on Yelp. And all over the review section, you can see people crying about scammers or stealing money or much worse. The good news, Estrada is in police custody, but it is up to all of you people watching to never buy from this dealership again and not condone their horrible practices.
So I mean, this whole situation is terrible. If you are looking for a new car, the prices right now
You guys should
at
go subscribe to this guy if you really need an eye-opening about cars and how to do things correctly. He's a very great resource. And man, I wish my fucking YouTube channel would blow up like his. He just started and he's like already, he started 8 months ago. His first video blew up. Blew up. I'm just a loser, I guess. Anyways, boys, I'm going to get off. It's my birthday night, so I'm going to celebrate it a little bit. Eat some dinner, probably go to bed, to be honest. So I appreciate y'all for being here, man. If ever I can do anything for you, please let me know. Write me comments. Find me on Instagram, DM me. Much love to everyone who supports me and all the support you guys give me. And I feel blessed, honestly. So if you ever are in need, just know there's a ginger who's here. And he is a fiend. Or something like that. I'll talk to y'all later.